After spending a couple days in Cappadocia, I hopped a plane, actually two planes, both of which were delayed, thank you Turkish Airlines, down to the coastal city of Antalya and planned to explore there. In particular, the Old Town with its picturesque harbor area was always the first picture you get if you Google the city. Looking at it from above, it's pretty obvious where the Old Town stops and the rest of the city begins. I stayed in a nice little bed and breakfast right in the heart of it called Villa Tulipan. They had a lot of cats and a great location. It was amazingly situated for the activities I wanted to do, but a word of warning, driving in the Old Town is not a good idea. I needed the car for future days, but ended up ignoring it while actually in the city. Did not realize was in these tiny little streets, and I just drove a rental car to at 1:30 in the morning last night. I was really just stressed to the absolute limit yesterday. I bit off a little bit more than I could chew, but my activities this morning rearranged themselves. I slept in a little bit, flew the drone off the roof, and now I'm going to the beach, which looked amazing via drone remote control. So hopefully lives up to it in person. This beach involves very little actual sand. It's more like the adjacent hotel got creative with selling spots on a bunch of docks that they installed on the side of the cliff, but you can't argue with the color of that water. I was planning to go scuba diving a few days later, so I brought out my snorkel and mask and had fun swimming around for a bit. Also cut my foot open on a sharp rock. You don't need any footage of that though, use your imagination. The Old Town has tons of shops and restaurants, but it's also interspersed with various landmarks, mosques and ruins and gardens, and on the edge of the cliffside, this almost 2,000-year-old tower they seem to be restoring. When you say Turkish delight, most people are thinking little sugar cubes covered in powdered sugar, and that is a thing. Honestly, too sweet for me. But what I did like was this variation that many vendors in Antalya were selling that's more like rolls with various fillings, still ungodly amounts of sugar, but with more variation of creams and nuts and things. Outside dessert, though, one of the primary food groups I encountered in Turkey is the doner kebab shop, and I had more than one of those in my time there. Antalya was also where I had my favorite dinner of the whole trip. This kind of mixed seafood chef special dish had tons of strong spices and was exactly my favorite kind of dish. Okay, so I'm about a 25-minute taxi ride outside of the city center where my hotel is. We drove all along the coast. It's a beautiful coastline. They have these parks with paths and things just the whole way pretty much. I'm gonna see if maybe I can get a bike or a scooter or something on the way back. We'll see. But I went out here because this is the lower Duden Waterfall. So Lesson for anybody that wants to do what I did: don't tell the taxi guy Duden Waterfall, because they'll try to take you to the upper one. Even if you explicitly take out your phone and show them the word lower and point to this thing on the bottom, they think of this as Duden Park, not the lower Duden Waterfall. Pro tip. But I can hear it. Let's go see what it looks like. My last stop was back in the Old Town Harbor for a ride on one of the boats. They have different length tours that leave regularly in an orderly system to ensure each boat gets its turn taking a batch of tourists out. I was only out for 45 minutes, but it was nice to be on the water and see everything from yet another vantage point. Had I stayed longer, I might have checked out the archaeology museum or a nearby cable car, but I had other plans in the coming days. It was a nice city to check out, but for me, I think the one day was sufficient. I had some awesome hiking, sea kayaking, scuba diving, and paragliding that I was anxious to get to. Those will be in my next videos.